So you've probably heard me talking about running these CV axles in a Jeep. Well, check this out. This is my wife's Jeep. You can tell it needs some attention. So this was something I was doing in the first place, and I got a request on another video to do a step-by-step video, request to do a step-by-step process of installing. And it's quite easy, and honestly, I'm probably not even going to use like any power tools at all. I've literally got all the tools I should need right here, and I'll go over them in just a second. Like I said, no power tools. So that way, if there's anybody that wants to do this at home in their driveway with just basic tools, you can do it. So I'm going to show you what I'm working with, and then I'll do a little explaining to save yourself some hassle of reading on comments. If you can see right in there, that U-joint, somebody tried to install it, and not going to elaborate on that too much, but that's just a cheap U-joint, ended up blowing the end of the cap out, so that is that one. This side, just simply bad. So both those need replaced, which is not a terrible job. I admit, it's not bad, but if you haven't done them before, they're not fun at all. And on the flip side, I prefer Spicer. That's, if you was going to run it, that's the best you can buy. I'll argue that all day long. And they're like 40 bucks. So we're talking $80 for both U-joints. Pull the shafts out, you know, get you a block of wood, hammer, chisel, socket. Again, not too bad. But again, $80, a little bit of labor. Depending on where you get these, you can get them anywhere from like $50 each to, I think, list price on these at O'Reilly's is about $100. So we're talking $200 versus $80. These are just going to slide right in. Don't got to change anything. No modifications. I could probably do this off camera, the whole job, I would say in probably 20 minutes. To change those U-joints out, I'm going to say you'd spend 30 minutes just to change the U-joints out on top of pulling all the stuff out. And that's if you've done them before. If you hadn't done them, they're not fun. More than likely, if you're seeing me doing this video, you're wondering why it's a Wrangler. This front axle, as far as axle shafts goes, XJ, ZJ, MJ, TJ, probably easy researchable, but they all use basically the same shaft, other than the two-piece shaft over there on some of the XJs. But that shaft over there is actually out of a ZJ, and this one I think is, could be stock, could be an XJ shaft. So this was, again, something I was just doing in the first place, but as far as this being different on your application, pretty much exactly the same. Unless it's a WJ, it's just a little bit different, but it's about the same. So I've yet to figure out why people love bashing these on the internet. I don't get it, but I've run several of them. Have I broke them? Absolutely. But for the normal person, these work awesome. And they're lifetime warranty, so if the boot goes bad, you lifetime warranty it. Takes about 15 minutes to swap. If you catch yourself not driving very good and break it, you can carry it back and get your money back. So we're talking $200 here to gamble on, not this Jeep, but a $10,000 Jeep. Worst case, you buy them and you don't like them. I'm gonna say O'Reilly's probably won't even bat an eye. You just put them back in the box, say they was clicking or making noise and you wasn't satisfied. There's your money back, and then go put your U-joints back in. I don't know what people get out of that, but by the time you're watching this, I should have a video in a link below where we just debate which is better for which driver and such. Anyway, let's get straight to it. I did purchase some bearings off Rock Auto. These was literally like $28. Those needs bearings on both sides, but this is not a necessity for this swap. It's just something I was doing in the process. So now I'm gonna get the wheels and tires knocked off. You do not need a lift at all for this job, but I have the lift, makes it easier for viewing pleasure. Honestly, a jack stand is almost easier. Let's see what we gotta do. I'll go over tools as we need them, keep it simple. So this should be two 13 millimeters holding the caliper on. Sometimes they change, sometimes they're 13, a 12, an 11, and even a 10 millimeter just to save money from China. So let's get them knocked off our first step. All right, I've got a ratchet wrench, should make the job easier, but about as easy as it goes. Take the bolts out because you are going to use them, believe it or not. Sometimes these calipers will just fall right off. You can see this one is. And if you have to leave them hanging by the hose, nothing's going to happen on there. But if you can find a spot for them to lay, that's better off. So now rotor will fall off. Nope, I'm ahead of myself. Yeah, we'll go ahead and just take the rotor off. I'll show you what I was fixing to do. Some hack jobs had a hold to this Jeep before me. This is supposed to be a cotter key. You should know how to work a cotter key if you're here. Just got to bend them straight. This one has a nail in it. So now, this is what I was fixing to say. Put the rotor back on. It should stay. Now I'm going to take the bolt, and it'll be trying to loosen turning this way. So I'll put the bolt right there, and then get it to catch right there, and it'll hold this still while we break this loose. Next tool, breaker bar. This is a 36 millimeter, an 1 3/8 I believe is what it honestly is, but when you get that big, they're all the same. So what I'm gonna do is break it loose. This may have been easier than first. So that's that. If you're keeping your wheel bearing, I'm gonna do it like you was. I would break it loose and then just snug it back up. Put this on this side, just a decent snug. But, well, I'll show you when we get there. Pull the bolt back out, throw the rotor back in the floor. Now there's 3 bolts that hold this hub bearing in, and if you feel like it, you can leave your steering wheel unlocked and turn this, and you can use a socket, or I'm just simply going to use a 13 millimeter, just regular old wrench. And we'll see if we can do it that way. This is how I started out years ago when I couldn't afford tools. A little bit of excessive hammer, but I got my wrench on there. Yep. That breaks that one loose. Top one, we'll get it. We'll break it loose. And the 13 millimeter ratchet wrench we were just using, we'll utilize it again. This one's a little more tricky because you're hitting kind of up. That one's being tricky, stubborn. There we go. It's just being stubborn. You will need your hammer in just a second. Probably wouldn't hurt to PB Blaster or WD-40 these right here. Just get them out of there. They're usually always crusty. I don't know if the heat from the brake rotor and water, not really sure, but they usually always are. Now we just gotta get these bolts out of here. So now we got all the bolts out. Hopefully you got a ratchet wrench. If not, just a regular one will do. And if you're in the rust belt, I'm using a 13 millimeter, but sometimes a 1/2 inch will grip them a little tighter. Sometimes you have to actually hammer the 1/2 on there, keep it from slipping. So now if you took this nut off, not all the time, but most of the time if you hit right here, it'll try to separate the bearing internally. So that's why I leave this nut on until I've got this loose. And if you need to, you can put it all back together and then break it loose, pull it all apart. Safety glasses would probably be smart, but I'm just going to tap the bearing around there, maybe come on this side, see how it comes out. That one come right out, just keep hitting the bearing. So we are broke loose. Let's see. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to stick this wrench in the U-joint. Hopefully not break it. So even if you're using your bearing or not, now you need to take this nut fully off. If you're lucky, the bearing will slide right off. And this dust shield, come on. This dust shield, I always throw them away. You're welcome to use them, but they always bend and get rocks and just make noise, and it's not worth it. If it's a really nice Jeep, this will throw your tow off. If you throw both of them away, your tow will probably spread out just a little bit, but if it's just an off-road Jeep, never know the difference. So now I've got this bearing. I'm gonna throw it away. If normally you would be reusing this bearing. Shaft, like I said, this is actually a ZJ shaft because it has ABS ring. TJs, which this is, never come with ABS that I know of. If it's a Jeep you really care about, I would try to flush these tubes out with water, see if you can wash the mud out. But I'll probably change fluid after I drive this thing. Now we're just gonna slide this out. Oh, it looks good. Now I've got my brand new CV shaft, and I'm just going, you can go ahead and have the bearing assembly on, but I'm gonna do it this way. Try to apply a little down pressure to keep the end pivoted up so it's not pushing all the dirt back up in there. Just kind of balance it. Should have to do a little twist. And sometimes the little band clamp for the CV will hang, you have to wiggle it in there, but we'll take our nut back off. Comes with a nut. Like I said, I've got a new bearing, but if you're using your old one, that's just fine. Now, these 3 bolts, I am going to put some anti-seize on there because you can see they do tend to seize up. Got my anti-seize on. We're just going to try to line these up, get them started. Sometimes you got to pick up on the bearing. Now, get my 13mm. We're going to tighten them back up. It makes more sense to start on the bottom, the way the bearing's gonna try to sit into there. I actually kind of cross-threaded, but we'll get them snug with the ratchet wrench and then get the regular wrench, and we'll put some Ugga Dugs on them. Same way we took them off. Find you a sweet spot. This is how I did it for many years before I could afford tools. But if you've got fancier tools, you know, more power to you, use them. I do, but I'm having to use these. All right, so we got the bearing tight. That's good. Now, got our big nut, and we're just gonna start it on there. If you've got the washer it come with, you can reuse it. Yeah, at this time you can go ahead and put the rotor back on there. I had the washer, sorry. Now I'm going to slide the rotor back on there. I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and put the caliper on. Watch for how these, you can see that's got 2 hooks and that's got 1 hook. And then these, usually try to slide them back. Start the bottom. Usually push in on the bottom of the rotor and then slide on. It's my favorite part. You kind of apply pressure, wiggle, they settle in. So I'm going to get these, well, I'm gonna need one of these bolts. No, I'll just use a wrench, I tell you what. We'll go ahead and tighten this brake caliper up. So maybe this will work. I'm just gonna shove my 13 right there. See if it'll hold on for dear life. Internet probably give me heck for this, but this nut is supposed to torque to like 120. I've used impacts, I've used these, I don't think it technically matters. I think that's just a warranty claim. The way they're made, anyways, I'm gonna get it tight. Hopefully that wrench don't slip. I know about what 120 feels like, so we should be good. Cherokee head bolts torque at 110. I've done a bunch of them. You're freaking done. That's it. That's all you gotta do. Oh, cotter key. I don't stress over this very much. But this is my wife's Jeep, and she's gonna see the video and see that I didn't put cotter keys in there. And somebody's gonna comment that the wheel's gonna fall off. So all you do is stick them through there, bend them over. That's it. You're done. No stressful U-joint changing. So I got this side knocked out. This side is exactly the same, nothing different. So I'm gonna knock it out and move on in life. So I'm pretty sure anybody in their driveway can change them. It's cheap, easy, works. It's just my opinion. I'm just trying to help you out. But check out all the tools that I actually needed to do this. Again, you can rent this tool 36mm or 1 3/8. Hammer of your choice, breaker bar, or just a big ratchet would do the trick. I was just using that because it's simple. And then honestly, 1 13mm pair of needle nose, and that's optional. If anybody's ever changed U-joints, comment how fun they are, because I'm pretty sure I started this video at like 8:30 and it's like 8:50. It's about as easy as it gets. So I hope that's got everything covered. Like I said, don't be scared to try these. If they don't work out, you've probably lost more money on your Jeep, I can guarantee it. And if they don't work out, pull them out, either get your money back, warranty them, throw them in the garbage. You still got your axles that you didn't throw away if you didn't, and you can just go buy U-joints and go back to exactly what you had. I think I've got probably 50 sets of these bought through O'Reilly's. Do they go bad? Obviously. But out of the 50 I got bought, I've had a ton of good luck. So hope it helps. Like I said, this video was requested through a comment. Can't say I do every single one of them, but I'll do the best I can. So hope it helped. Appreciate it. Have a good day.